Hello, this is the Trade Ideas Market Recap for Tuesday, April the 29th. My name is Barry Anderson. I'm the moderator of the trading room. This is the address to get into the room. You can log in as a guest or use your Facebook or your Twitter account to log in. Today was a slow day for me in terms of the number of trades I took. I only took two trades. One worked out quite well, and the other one was moderately successful. But the second one was sort of an example of what we did in the room today, a little bit of a collaboration on trying to discover what the beta filter is and what it means in trade ideas. So I'm going to go over that a little bit later. But first, just take a look at the trade I took, and that the first one was WAG, and this came from the bounce play. And you can see, let me just scroll over a little bit here. You can see that I was alerted to WAG, which is Walgreen, at 10:36, and the price was 66.58. So it was right in this area here that I had the alert, and you can see why. Had a number of 2-minute candles down. It had dropped a sufficient amount in 30 minutes for me to be alerted to it. And then I started watching it. And the minute it broke above the top of this candle right here, which the top here I believe is 66.65, and we had this nice expansion green candle. Again, these are 2-minute candles. I took the trade at let me see here at 66.67 right here. Now, I took the first half off at 66.87. Now, if you've been watching some of the videos in the past, you'll know that I tend to get a little jumpy on these, and a lot of times I leave a lot on the table. They can, some of these bounce plays, they keep bouncing for the rest of the day, but a lot of times I may take a look at a pattern like right here and just get out. Today, I decided, and I even said into the room, that I was going to keep that second half unless it got down to my buy-in price. Now, I made some adjustments along the way, but it ended up to be a pretty good trade because I watched, through all this, but the market was relatively strong. And I actually sold the stock right in this area here at 67.27. It was right around here. And in fact, it was right in here, and basically was able to hold on. So, instead of in the past, what I've been doing is if I'd seen something like this or something like this or even that, I probably would have got out. But I decided to just hold on to that last half. And with the market being relatively strong, not too, wasn't as gyration prone as it has been over the last few days. So it worked out very well for me, and I will try to adhere to that. It's difficult, though. I mean, when you see some of these spikes down, you tend to get a little bit nervous, and you want to get out and lock in your profits. But this turned out to be quite good. So on the first half, I made 20 cents a share. On the second half, it was 60 cents a share. So nice little trade in Walgreens, and it was relatively stress-free. I mean, yeah, again, this is a 2-minute chart, so it looks a lot more choppy than it actually was. So it was actually a fairly stress-free trade. Now, the last trade I took was in Duke Energy. Now, this came from here, and you see it's called no beta correlation. Now, let me just, before I actually take a look at the trade, let me just bring in oops, let me just escape here, and let me put this on pause just for a second. Okay, a little bit of a hiccup there, but I just wanted to show you what the definition that we have with trade ideas for beta. Basically, beta, as it says, is a measure of the volatility of a given stock relative to the overall market, and usually the S&P 500. So basically, all you have to know is that a beta above 1 is more volatile than the overall market, while a beta below 1 is less volatile. And securities with betas of 0 generally move independently of the overall market. Now that's sort of what we're trying to find. Those stocks that don't really depend on what the overall market is doing. They're acting on their own. And so that's basically what I did here is I took let me just bring up the configuration and in the summary, and I put in for beta the minimum was minus zero point 0.1 and the maximum is zero point 0.1. In other words, very close to 0. So these should be stocks, in theory, that are going to work or act a little bit more independently of what the overall market is doing. Now, obviously, if the SPY just starts to crash, it doesn't matter what these values are. More than likely, your stock is going to crash along with it. But maybe this will take out some of the froth that we see. You know, you get into a stock and you're long, and all of a sudden, a little bit of news comes out, or for whatever reason, the SPY starts to drop, and it just starts to take your stock with it. So this is something I'm going to take a look at a little more closely, actually, and see whether or not I can develop more of a strategy. This is a top list right now, but at any rate, I was alerted to it. In the top list was Duke, and I saw Duke when I first saw Duke. It was sitting right in this area here, sort of with a base at 74.31. So it was a little bit of a consolidation. And I mentioned to the room to take a look at Duke. It was in a consolidation pattern, and I actually once it broke through, I took the stock at 74.40, and I took the first half out at 74.60, and sort of true to my word at the beginning, is I held on, and as it went up through here, and came back down through 74.60, I decided to take the second half out. Right now, it was 306 when I did that, so the market only has another less than an hour to go. So that's one of the reasons I may have held on for a lot longer had it been earlier in the day, but I decided to take out both halves at 74.60. So I mean, it's not a stupendous trade or anything like that, but certainly I wouldn't have known about it unless I constructed this particular top list during the market. And I will certainly take a look at it now a little more closely, examine these stocks, and see if we can if I can figure out some kind of an edge to trade them. So again, only two trades today, but both of them were successful, and I really like the Walgreen trade and the fact that I was able to hold on for a long time. So let me just bring back this page here again, and let me just do it like this. Okay. So again, here is the address to get into the room, and you log in as a guest or use your Facebook or Twitter account to log in. I hope to see you in the room tomorrow.